Welcome back to American Muscle. The Los Angeles Bodybuilding Championships is a very different kind of city contest. Walking into this year's show, you might have thought you were at the Nationals. John Kovic reports from Redondo Beach, California.
While bodybuilders in the East needed 3 layers of sweats just to stay warm in the gym, some of the spoiled lifters of Los Angeles were basking in typical balmy weather, all in preparation for the city's largest amateur event. It was the first clash of California muscle for the year, and promoter Mike Glass made sure that it had something for everyone, even the fans. There was plenty of excitement in the air. After all, everyone knew that the LA has always been the breeding ground of future champions, and this year the quality of physiques was unparalleled. Past winners include Steve Reeves, Chris Dickerson, Bob Paris, and J.J. Marsh. The teens spirited the day, and conquering the division was 19-year-old Sean Brantley from Chino, California. At 5'10", with 193 shredded pounds of muscle, no one came close to his condition. Last year, he barely made the final cut in this same show. So this year, he trained as if he was competing against the more experienced open class.
Well, this show I prepared differently. I dieted for a much longer time. Last time I did a short, quick 2-month diet. This time I dieted for approximately 3 months. And a nice and gradual diet, losing a pound a week.
The open division began with the women's lightweight class and runner-up Sue Farmer. High caliber. The lightweight class was dominated by a hyper-ripped 21-year-old from Ventura, Dan Hester. At 5'6" and 149 pounds, Dan looked similar to a younger Lee Labrada and will definitely be a threat on the national scene when he adds 20 more pounds. Runner-up in the middleweights was 25-year-old David Antillian from Simi Valley. A former pro motorcycle racer, he picked up a Muscle magazine 4 years ago and was hooked. David now packs on 175 pounds at only 5'5" and 1/2 in total condition. He plans on going all the way in bodybuilding, and with his integrity, we believe it. Winning the middleweights was a personal trainer from Pomona, Rick Lucero. Rick has sculpted his 5'4" frame into 154 pounds. So why did the 23-year-old compete as a middleweight?
I was laying back with a couple fellow competitors, and I dozed off. Next thing I know, everybody was gone. I'm there by myself, and thank goodness, some lady came up and asked me, woke me up and asked me what class I was in, and she said they just made the last call for the open men's open class. I ran over as fast as I could, and it was too late to make the lightweights, and so I had to gain a pound to make the middleweights.
The light heavyweight class proved to be an absolute battleground with the toughest field in the show. In third place was former collegiate Mr. America Chris Aceto. Only 24, Chris is best known as the boyfriend of Ms. International Laura Craval and an accomplished trainer of many Southern California champions. So how does he train himself in the midst of preparing so many other competitive bodybuilders?
The way I did it this time was I just tried to go into the posing room once a week like I would help someone else. I would not try to look at myself every day and try to be objective, which is hard. Like the last 3 days, I mean, my body changed for the better or the worse 20 different times in 3 days.
Runner-up was 1987 Teenage Mr. Pennsylvania and Teen Mr. America Frankie Vassell. At 5'6" and a cut 190 pounds, Frank was one of the thickest men in the show, with freakish density that had the crowd roaring. The 4 years he'd been gone from competition had been well spent, as Frank was the crowd favorite at the show. A slight blockiness kept him from the #1 spot, but at only 23 years old, Frank has nothing but time to get better. Look at the legs on this guy. Winning the light heavyweight class was a former Junior USA class winner and national mixed pairs champion, Jerry Steele. Jerry exemplifies a new trend in bodybuilding where superior shape, symmetry, and definition win out over raw mass. Many speculated he would even go on to take the overall title. He's aiming for the national scene this year, but as a solid heavyweight.
I'm trying to create as much out of my genetic potential as I possibly can. And it's still fun for me. I've been doing it for a number of years now, and I still have that hunger. I still have that thirst, for victory.
Next came the big boys with a close second place to heavyweight Dennis Newman. Dennis was a Teenage USA and Teenage California champion, and at 21, this was his first open show. Those who remember Dennis as a teenage USA and California champion competitor barely recognized him due to the amount of sheer size he's packed on.
I got a lot harder. I kept my size. I changed a lot of things. I didn't diet correctly the last time I went to the Cal. I didn't know what I was doing. But I'm still refining on my diet, and I'm using this contest as a practice for up-and-coming contests.
Winning the heavyweight class was a former U.S. Marine, Reid from Fullerton's Gold's Gym. A personal trainer, Greg has been competing for 9 years, and at 28, his goal is to turn pro and tackle the Mr. Olympia.
I want the achievement of going to the Olympia, okay, which I've had for 9 years, and knowing that my body is the best that everybody sees on stage that day, and just being more focused in with my body and letting people see what I have, not just the body, but the brain and the soul and on the inside, but just to be known as a person with good intentions, a good heart, and an awesome body.
The pose down for the overall title was fierce, with the light heavyweight winner Jerry Steele being edged out by Reid, whose superior mass earned him the trophy. Thanks to promoter Mike Glass and his staff, the 1991 LA Championship was a huge success. Next year, Ironman magazine will promote this contest, and American Muscle will return to the land where muscles reign supreme. For American Muscle, I'm John Kobe.
Wow.